I wondered when I first applied to Alliance Health Project if they would want an old straight lady doing this work. And actually, I have felt so welcomed, not just welcomed, but loved. Well, I came here many years ago as an intern, and I got hooked on the place. I've been here for 20 years. I come once a week as a volunteer now to facilitate a support group for people who are HIV positive. So many people still have HIV, and the headlines have gone away about it. A lot of people initially come to group because they've become isolated, and they learn how to get honest feedback from people, and they give honest feedback. And there's a deep meaning to the work. There's a real feeling to the work when you're in a group that's far different from what we mostly experience in society. And being able to help as best I can, and helping them help each other and learn how to be supportive and get something out of that themselves, it's very rewarding.
what you're doing right now is active listening. You're engaged. You're focused on listening to me, which, you know, you'd be a really good facilitator. In a group, instead of just having one person who's reparenting or changing your reality of how you are perceived, you've got this whole new family. And what you get is a corrective experience of a family that loves you unconditionally, a family that supports you unconditionally, a family that may challenge you and may be disappointed in something, but still is there for you. And that, most of us don't have that in our family of origin. I'm a therapist, right? So I don't say the groups are all about love and doing therapy is all about love. And it is. You know, we're therapists, we get that pounded out of us that you don't get to say you love your clients. We love our clients. I love my clients. I have clients who are really, really difficult and really struggling, and I love my clients. What everybody gets here is love, is some form of love.
Hello?
Hey, Paul.
You know what it is.
It is.
How are you?
Fantastic. Yay, yay.
Let's light the candles
Get the ice out.
and roll out the red carpet because it's here.
It's today.
It's today, and I'm really excited. And let's see, where are we? What is it? Is this Art for AIDS?
It's our 24th year. We just switched
I
lines.
know we did. It's okay. It's all right. I know you want to act like it's normal, but things are different now. Things are different, and we can't pretend that it's not 2020. It is.
I can, Paul, and I will. Anything can happen if you make it, try to wish it so, just like your audience here. And I love you, Paul.
Oh,
but
thank you.
I want Wanda Sykes.
Well,
Lori, Paul, I'll host. I'm a survivor.
No.
wow, Lori, you're right. You are right. And actually, anything can happen tonight.
Dreams really can come true. People really can get better. Things will be better. That's why we're here.
Yes. You know, this is like the Rolling Stones always say, you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need, and it's, me.
Oh, I want tonight to be Pat Magic, and I want Wanda Sykes. I've got to go. No, I've got to find Wanda.
What? You're leaving me here?
Sorry.
At least I've got champagne.
Wanda! Wanda! I know you're around here somewhere. Maybe she's in here. Maybe she's friends with the mayor.
Chief Nicholson is a dedicated public servant and a tremendous leader and has put her...
Oh, no Wanda. Hello?
Seriously, you don't want us to host? Jake Hagee. He's written 8 operas. He lives in San Francisco. He's a hometown boy.
Kurt Branham, iconic San Francisco legendary star of Beach Blanket Babylon.
Come on! We could have so much fun. Carol Channing could show up and she could say, "Before the parade passes by."
I so appreciate you, but it's got to be Wanda. Take care. Bye-bye. Wanda! She's gotta come tonight. I need her here. Otherwise, my life is ruined.
Lori, what in the world is wrong with you? Put those down.
Sorry, Chief. It's just that tonight is Art for AIDS, and all I've ever wanted, the only thing that will heal the wounds of 2020 is to have Wanda Sykes as our host, and I can't find her anywhere.
Oh, that's a problem, Lori.
True.
I mean, compared to my life, half of California was on fire last month. So I get it why you are so sad. On behalf of all Californians, we feel your pain. But sister, really, what is it I can do for you? Do you want me to host?
Wow. Thank you, Chief, but no, there's so many people with problems. I need to get back to the clinic.
All right, no problem, sister. Let's go. I think I have a solution.
Really?
Yeah. Get out here and ride down to the Castro. Someone special is waiting there for you.
Oh my God, it's...
Wanda Sykes!
Wait!
Honey, it's me!
It's Sister Roma. I'm so happy to see you.
I am happy to see you too. Now look, I know you've been looking for Wanda Sykes all over San Francisco today.
All day, all over.
She's just not here. But I have an idea for you.
What's your idea?
Well, you know that the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence were one of the first groups ever to combine art with fighting AIDS.
Obviously.
And you know that I am one of the premier MCs and hostesses in San Francisco.
I would say the premier hostess.
I would too. I mean, I host San Francisco Pride, I've hosted Halloween in the Castro, Folsom Street Fair.
List goes on.
It does, but there is one thing missing from my list.
What's that?
I have never hosted Art for AIDS.
Would you consider?
Girl, I'm begging you.
Oh my God, we have a hostess. Sister Roma, will you please be the hostess to this year's Art for AIDS?
Yes!
Thank you, thank you. We have a hostess.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm hosting Art for AIDS on October 17th. Have you had any coffee yet today?
Not a bit.
Oh, girl, this is my favorite coffee
Let's
shop.
go.
Let's go.
Let's
all right?
go. Oh my gosh.
I happen to like flavored coffee. It's an unpopular opinion.
Well, but you know what? With you, I'll even try flavored.
Yes.
Okay, let me tie my shoe.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's go. Oh my God, what a day.
Live from San Francisco, it's Art for AIDS!
Yes! Wasn't that amazing? Hello and welcome to Art for AIDS 2020 from San Francisco's beautiful American Legion Honor Museum. Hello, Paul.
How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
So excited.
Oh, it's great to see you. I'm so excited to have you as a co-host because I couldn't think of anybody I'd rather share this with.
Same.
So before we get started, I want to thank Chief Neem for being such a huge part of our opening and to dedicate that video to fallen hero, SF firefighter Jason Cortez.
Yeah.
And I'd like to recognize that we are on Ohlone land, which is very important to remember whenever we think about our ancestors and the American Indians who rightfully own this land.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, you might be wondering, who is this gorgeous creature before you, and why? Well, I am Sister Roma, a 33-year member of San Francisco Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. I'm an activist, an entertainer, and
Beautiful.
the most photographed nun in the world. Google it, Paul. Now, some of you may know that the Sisters were one of the first organizations to tackle HIV/AIDS and often using theater and art to combat the pandemic. And this feels like home to me. Art for AIDS feels like home. So I'm honored to join you tonight as one of your co-hosts for what is destined to be the greatest show on earth, because I am here. And to make it even greater, I will be joined by my co-host, this handsome devil right here, the illustrious Paul Henderson. Now, Paul is a nationally recognized expert in criminal justice reform and a veteran prosecutor. He is a champion for social justice and what? Kamala Harris's former chief of staff? And now the executive director of the San Francisco Department of Police, Accountability, and a political and legal analyst on NBC, MSNBC, CNN, and PBS.
That's a mouthful.
All the good stations.
All of that.
All the good ones. But what you may not know about Paul David Henderson are the talents he brings to the silver and now green screen to help nonprofits exceed fundraising expectations. And if there were an award for Best Actor and Best Dressed on the philanthropic stage, thank you, and also the best person to pronounce that word, Paul would win.
I love to win.
And you know what? I think we should both win an award because look at this color coordinated. I mean, this is unreal.
I love that. Brown, brown, brown. We've got it all.
Right, and we did not call each other, so don't get it twisted. This is a coincidence. Because you know why? Because great minds, honey.
Bam.
Yes, we're both going to win that award. So tonight, Paula and I will be joined by the incredibly dedicated and talented director of AHP, Lori Temis, who we also found out is nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress on a Bicycle.
And I know why. I saw her. She was doing it.
That day wore me out, and I didn't even have to ride a bike. Yeah. So good. And we have, of course, tonight our Sean Miller, who is in a socially distant space. He's our one-man orchestra. There he is. Hey, sexy. And there's another special guest in the house. I don't know if you know this, but we are going to be selling, of course, auctioning off a lot of art. And to help us do that, we have the legendary Bob Ross is in the house.
Happy little trees, happy. Oh, and the tree has a little friend. Wait, that's not how it's supposed to go. I'm not Bob Ross. Oh, can you do my hair? Can you fix me?
Yes, yes.
I am DK Haas. Oh, thank you. Thank you, dear. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the 24th Annual Art for AIDS. We're gonna get that teleprompter right. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you to all the artists for donating. We're so appreciative. What would we be without the artist? We would just be for AIDS. So I want to know, I know that you're used to Patrick being here. I'm not Patrick. I'm DK, just me. And that's, so tonight what we're going to do is I'm going to read this teleprompter if it kills me. Thank you again to all the artists who contributed. Without you, again, we really wouldn't be able to do this. Tonight what we're going to do is we're going to auction 19 featured pieces. And as you know, those of you who are watching, they've already been available to bid on. And they will be there until 10 p.m. And many of you are fighting one another at this very moment for pieces at an auction. And if you have not logged in to bid, now is the time. So we're going to start by pointing out Gage Optenbrau's East Oakland Skyline #2. This is a series of paintings looking out of the artist's studio window in East Oakland. Real 880 smog and East Oakland grime rendered in this beautiful light. I also want to point to Jamie Chase, Subjective Experience. This is an amazing piece. It's one of my favorites in the auction. It's acrylic on canvas, and it is a gorgeous figurative piece, and it's going to be a treasure to whoever wins it. And now we're going to take a visit to Jennifer Berkowitz's studio, and we're going to look at her piece, Floating 10, and let's see Jennifer.
It's really important to me in my work that there's a psychological, emotional process that's deep and that comes from somewhere that surprises me. I'm finding, exploring, re-exploring, uncovering, destroying. It's that tension and that process where I find the dynamism. This is a series called Floating. It's about being between two states where you're sort of neither here nor there. It comes from photographs that I took actually of my daughters suspended in water. I'm intimately involved with the process of their lives. It's a discovery and letting go process.
Wow. So before we start talking about that art, I'm sure folks are excited and they can go to Greater Giving and register, because not only can you bid on all of the art that you're seeing and that you're gonna see, but you can contribute as well. And so we'd love for you to do both. Go to Greater Good, Greater Giving, and make sure you've registered so that you can participate tonight. What did you think about that art that we just...
Oh, you know, I thought that was actually beautiful. You could feel the movement. You could feel the body floating in the water. That piece would look gorgeous if you had a summer, like a cottage or a summer home, a beach house. Yeah. Wouldn't that be beautiful, featured in the main room of your beach house?
I would love to see that in like an office. To me, when I saw the art, and it emoted such an emotional sense of calm and serenity and beauty all at once with those colors. That's the kind of thing and the kind of energy that I would love to have in my office to calm me down and make me relax. I know people are already bidding and excited about it, as am I. So make sure that if you want it, that you register, and don't worry if someone bids against you. You outbid them. Don't let them take the art away from you. So while we're here, and watching, we're gonna have some champagne and get ready for our next piece of art.
You better get that bid. You don't let nobody outbid you. Not here, not at Art for AIDS. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to the people who have joined us tonight, because you are the real stars of tonight's show and the most important people in the world to us. Now, let's have our executive director, Jim Dilley, really get this party started with his own toast.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Art for AIDS, the fundraiser for the UCSF Alliance Health Project. We're so happy you're here. We appreciate your support. And so tonight, we're toasting you, and we couldn't do this work without you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Jim. Cheers, my love.
Salute.
Awesome. Now, earlier in the video, you saw her riding the bike and having a great time in that video to kick this whole show off. But now I would like to welcome you to see a more serious side of our beloved Lori Temis.
I am Lori Temis. I'm the director at the UCSF Alliance Health Project, and I am so happy to be here with everyone today. It's another Art for AIDS, and it's a weird one, but we continue to do the work for the people who we serve, and we just couldn't do it without everyone who's here tonight to watch. To work every day at a mission-driven place means that the people we serve come first, and trying to improve the health and wellness of the LGBT community comes first. What are we doing in this crazy time of COVID? Wow. Lots. We had some really moving experiences early on in the COVID epidemic. For example, a client who's homeless and lives in a tent, but he was able to attend a group session in his tent with an iPhone that we had been able to give him. And that was that kind of experience. And he really expressed to the group and to his facilitator that he was so isolated and so afraid but being able to actually connect to the people that he knew was just really stabilizing for him and helped keep him together. It's really been amazing. And so by being an organization that is very sort of sex positive, queer centric, and focused on the best possible care, that really changes things for people. They feel like they are known. Having a place like AHP really can change people's lives.
Well, I gotta say, as a public servant, seeing that type of commitment to the work honestly inspires me and makes me feel like I want to do a better job and donate and bid.
Me too. You know what? I would like to hear from Lori. Can we invite her to join us on stage? Lori!
I'd give up my chair for that.
Oh.
Hey!
Thank you.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You are a hero, and I know you don't like, you're so modest, I know you don't like to hear that kind of talk, but seriously, the sacrifice and the commitment and the passion that you have. How many years have you been the director?
I've been the director for about 13. I've been at the Alliance Health Project for 25 years. I was a baby therapist. I wasn't even a therapist when I started.
See?
But the work of the agency, and as I say in the video, you know, being able to dedicate one's career to providing services to my community has just been an honor. And watching the two of you, as well as everyone who's watching us tonight, do the same thing in their own way. We all have different roles to play, and our role is helping folks with mental illness, substance use problems, or who need HIV tests or an STD test. That's what we do. And we're all here together to try to make a better world, really. Not to be too dramatic, but you know.
No, you know what? You're not being dramatic at all, because actually, living lives with a purpose and in service does make the world a better place to live.
It's true.
And that's absolutely what you're doing. And everyone who works there is just, and volunteers, the volunteers make that so special. So thank you so much.
Thank you both. And we're so grateful that you're here supporting AHP, Alliance Health Project. Yay, us.
Awesome. And now we're going to go back to Bob Ross. I mean, DK.
Same.
Whoa, I am not Bob Ross. I'm not Patrick Walsh. I am DK Haas. So now let's focus on Mark Powers, Townsend, opening on Townsend. This is a piece created in 2019, full of memory and a time when we were meeting together, and painted of Art House Gallery, who have done so much for us at Alliance Health Project over the years. Mark Powers is doing quite well. There's a bidding war. It looks like our producer, Sheila Von Driska, is in that bidding war. How fun. And Lisa, I see you're taking it away from her. And next we have this rich impasto rendering, Carolyn Myers Flowers. She is a superpower painter. Don't let this piece get by you. It's just gorgeous. Sam Hunt is back by popular demand with SF Cityscape number 104. This San Francisco scene is so fantastic. I tell you, it makes me so happy to live in San Francisco when I look at this painting. And now we're gonna go visit Kamal Al-Mansour, living in his living room. He's setting up for a private viewing right now.
I'm an image maker, visual culturalist, digerati, and writer. My source of content comes from many different things, oftentimes documentaries. I see the connection between my work and, say, documentary filmmaking in that I introduce a lot of information. And so I essentially have four corners to convey a message, a theme. I raise issues. I don't necessarily reach the conclusion. The piece that I submitted and was accepted for Art for AIDS is called How You Gonna Know Where I'm From Unless You've Been Where I've Been. You understand where I'm coming from. The piece talks about people that go into the city and the people they encounter never know that they're coming from, let's say, the inner city, the hood, or the projects. And it should really never be a question, because if you focus more so on who the person is, it really doesn't matter where they're coming from. Everyone has a story, everyone has a starting point.
Oh, wow, fabulous, fabulous, Kamal. I love giant pieces of art. I love giant paintings because they fill up a whole space, and you walk in and they command your attention, and they just really set the whole mood for the room. The personalities come through in those paintings.
I just love art so much. And even seeing the images that we just saw, that first artscape is such a stark contrast right now. Seeing folks outside and gathering and collected around and looking at art, given the context of how we're all living right now in isolation and apart.
The Powers piece?
The first Powers piece,
Was that, is that called realism? Because like the word on the writing on the window was so realistic. It looked like a photograph almost.
It was super realistic, and to me, art is just the purest expression of truth, and it captures so much, and obviously it's what we bring to it, but it's such powerful art that we have tonight, and I'm so super excited by these artists and the art. But before we drift too much into the art, I would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about our heroes and our hero bids tonight, so that even if you don't get a piece of this art, if you want to support this work and you want to support the movement actually that's going on right now to transform communities all around you, you can still bid, and that makes you a hero. So be a hero tonight and make sure that you register, make sure that you contribute, and make sure that you bid.
The hero bids are great because you can donate as much as you can. It's not necessarily going to be as expensive as a piece of art, but there's one that I really would love people to see. This is absolutely brilliant. I am seriously going to bid. Look, it's the fly. You can support the fly. Donate in support of the fly and the work it's done for the community.
Let me tell you, that fly got a lot of attention this week because I'm pretty sure that's the fly that we all saw on television during the debates.
Oh, yeah.
And now we can support the movement of the fly. That makes you a hero, too.
Honey, I love me some Kamala, but that fly won that debate. Hands down.
I think Kamala had a little bit to do with it, too, though.
You know, she was like, if I could get a fly right on that white head, that would be great.
But that look watching the fly.
Oh, yeah, right?
That
Totally.
summarized it all.
So here we are pivoting, doing a virtual. We were all going to be together, of course, at the usual fabulous gala, but we had to pivot and because of COVID.
Yeah.
But much like we're doing today, that is not going to stop the people at Alliance Health Project. Look at this.
In March, when the shutdown here in San Francisco happened, we never stopped serving our clients. From the very beginning of this pandemic, it was very clear that the need was definitely going to increase. So many of our clients were already on the margins. We had to suspend some of the services. For example, our mobile HIV testing services were suspended. However, we pushed totally forward with all of our psychotherapy services and moved them totally online. We've certainly learned some lessons with our telehealth. We've been able to reach even more clients who were being underserved. And really, what we saw from our staff here is that nothing would ever stop us. Some of our medical staff were scheduled for retirement, and they said, the AIDS epidemic defined the beginning of my career, and now this is defining the end. I am not retiring right now. Your donations help us to really expand our infrastructure, to expand our HIV and STD testing services, to get even more involved with our technology to expand our telehealth services. We've never stopped serving during this pandemic, and with your donations, we won't stop.
That is dedication. Amazing.
Thank you, Jonathan. We love Dr. Harrison. He was, like Perry said, Dr. Harrison was scheduled to retire. He began in the AIDS epidemic, and he could not leave during the COVID pandemic, and we're so grateful. We also love Sean O'Donnell and his piece Lyrical, which transforms ordinary objects of austere elegance. Lyrical draws inspiration from Japanese design, the aesthetic of wabi-sabi. It's like a little haiku. And it's getting a lot of attention on the auction. So I believe Julie Armistead is killing it right now, but I think there's some people who are going to take it away from her. Hi, Julie. And let's go to one of our new artists, Mimi Chen Ting. This is a brilliant painter, a brilliant mind. We are in love with Mimi. So let's take a visit to her studio.
I think the nuances that I have in my work is in relationship of form and color. I think my personal motto is to tread lightly, use sparingly, and feel deeply. That's what the work is about. If you narrow it down to what you truly need to live, you don't need very much. The process actually is about reduction, is simplification. The piece that I donated to the Art for AIDS, it's called Swirls 1. I can feel the swirl of air. It's actually physical. I felt it on my skin, and then I went back to that feeling. So I always yearned for simplicity, and I think in my work, that's what I try to do. What you see is what you get.
Wow, you know, the art is so beautiful, but that video about the work that's being done at AHP was...
During COVID.
Oh my God, it was so inspiring, even for me personally, because my experience, like everyone else's, when COVID hit, everyone had to hunker in and withdraw and pull in, gather their resources, and figure out what their residence was going to look like, how they were going to work. And at that time and at that moment, there was a whole team going out from AHP to make sure that the folks on the street, that the folks that needed services, the folks that needed mental health, the folks that needed sexual training and counseling, individual, group therapy, all of this stuff was all still happening, didn't get cut off, didn't end because of the COVID crisis. And to see the faces of the people that are doing that work, that literally is behind this art, that literally is behind the bids that you are all making, that is behind the donations that you all are making, is what inspires me and makes me grateful to be here tonight. I mean, that's what I got all from that video.
All that video. And also, I love the correlation that was drawn between HIV/AIDS pandemic and where we currently are. Yeah. Because, as they said, this is not our first time at the rodeo.
Yeah.
This community right here knows how to deal with a pandemic. We showed the world how to respond to HIV/AIDS, to a pandemic that was killing us specifically. We showed the rest of the world how to respond with compassion and common sense, really. And so I'm very proud of San Francisco for the numbers that we have. I think that overall, of course, San Francisco is stepping up. We are believing science. We're following the experts. We're wearing our masks. We're maintaining social distance. We're not as close to each other as the magic of the cameras would make it look. So I am very proud of San Francisco. But I want everybody to remember not to let their guard down, because just like the AHP is going out and serving people, wearing masks and maintaining these protocols, it's important that we all keep it up, because it's not over by any means.
By any means, but it is inspiring, as was that art. The art that we just saw was so beautiful. I love the diversity of the artists and the diversity of the art that we're seeing. So there's something for everyone, regardless of what your taste is. You can find something that you find beautiful and you can bid on it. And even if you get outbid, you can contribute. I want everybody at the table, now is the time to be texting your friends, calling your husband, your wife, your peers, and letting them know that they can contribute to the work that's going on outside of your home and on the streets that is so needed by the communities of San Francisco. And you can be a hero that supports that work by making a donation and a bid. I'd love to hear a little bit more about some of the folks that are behind that work and some of the folks that are putting together the things that we've been relying upon as a city and as a community.
Right. Well, we do have a video. Great. And this is another interesting story. This is George and Anthony. And as you know, I believe it was George, who is a doctor, of course, and he was going to retire. But when COVID hit, he changed his whole entire trajectory and continues to serve at AHP today.
Wow.
So let's look at his video.
So who are you? Who are you, sir? I think you should go first. I'm Anthony Harrison, and this is my husband, Dr. George Harrison. You know, people that are struggling with huge challenges and huge hardships and things that can feel insurmountable. AHP helps them move toward a level of success that they couldn't imagine.
Our patients have been squirreled away in small rooms and scattered through the city, and the mental health problems that they have, depression, substance use, are heightened during the epidemic, and the need for services is even more so now.
As a queer person and a person of color, I certainly know about the members of our community who are disenfranchised and who the rest of the world ignores and doesn't see. And that's something that AHP focuses on, right? The people that are like fallen through the cracks of the system. And so it's critical that the agency continue to exist, continue to grow, and continue to provide the services that it provides for that portion of our community that can be easily forgotten or not seen.
Maybe it's being able to get out of the house a few times a week. Maybe it's using less amphetamines. There's a whole variety of ways in which they don't sound like lofty goals, but they're important life events for these people. Mm-hmm. And monies from Art for AIDS are managing to make these things possible. Yeah. The ability to flex our services so that we can keep the doors open, as well as our virtual doors, which are being used constantly every day.
There are still a tremendous number of people that need the safety net that AHP provides them to help lift them up, stabilize them, and give them the resources to be able to cope with the world as it is today.
I love it when people talk and I just get to listen.
That's the story of our marriage. Me talking and him listening.
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful couple. Oh my gosh, how handsome.
Yeah, I just like knowing what the stories are too, kind of behind the work. And we all know some of the work that AHP does, but hearing from the actual individuals what it means to them, how it fits into their lives, and then on the back end of that, how it fits into San Francisco, right? How it fits into the lives that we see on the streets that are being touched that's inspiring to me, and that's what's behind your contributions. That's what's behind your donations, and that's what's behind your bid. So I hope you think about that while you're looking at this beautiful art and participating in this auction, that you can be supporting individuals like that and work like this. That's so important for everyone.
Yeah, Dr. George said it right in the video, that the money from Art for AIDS funds these necessary programs. So it's more important than ever to look at that beautiful art and build. And speaking of looking at beautiful art, let's go back to DK in the vault.
Let's see more.
What's happening?
Hi, it's me. It's DK again. Before I get to this next piece, Katya Libanos' piece, I want to thank Rob Marks for a generous $500 donation. Also, Lanji, $100 donation. I can't thank you all, but I thank everyone for making these hero bids and donating to the Alliance Health Project. Thank you, thank you. And Katya, Katya's like a favorite in San Francisco, an amazing artist. She's already got some bids going and just a wonderful painter. And we're gonna now visit our friend and my fellow 1890 Bryant Street artist, Catherine Mackey, in her studio.
I'm kind of sort of visually nosy. I like people. I like the things they leave behind. So in a way, although I have no people in my art, the clues that they have left behind, it's a bit like visual archaeology. The piece is called Blue, a San Francisco juxtaposition. And I've used my collage process heavily in this painting. It's about San Francisco and change and the layers that are in all the buildings that give us the narratives of the city. If you look carefully, you can always be reminded of the people that have used those walls and have written their piece on them or left something behind.
I love it. She says, I'm nosy. I like people. I am too, girl. That's actually, again, the diversity of this art.
I like to say that I'm curious, not nosy. I just like to know. But what I love
I'll go there. I will get my nose in there and figure it out. I'll ask questions I probably shouldn't ask.
I appreciate that because I want to know the answers.
Yeah.
What I love is that we have this marriage of this work and this beautiful art coming from artists, and the commitment that each of them bring to their work is kind of the relationship that we're all here to celebrate. For artists who have committed so much of their time, so much of their work, and so much of their commitment to this organization and to raise this money is similar to me to the work that we see on the street that's being done by this organization. And it's you know, it makes me nervous. I just like to see, can we look at that thermometer again just to see how we're doing tonight? How much are people contributing? This is really inspiring me. I see we're up to $5,700, so we're just warming up because I know that we can get to $20,000 at the very least tonight.
Oh, definitely. We have to do that. Look at this. You know, I have to say, I really am impressed by the art. The quality of the art, the beautiful colors, everything about it is so inspiring. You've got to make these bids. You've got to keep donating. Make a hero bid. Support that fly. Let's get that thermometer up there, please. And maybe it will inspire you if we hear from our amazing founding executive, Dr. Jim Dilley.
This has really been my life's work. We began really as an HIV mental health program. It was about helping my community, and that remains the case to this very day. For those of us who've lived through the HIV epidemic, there's no question that we're all sort of going back. There's a lot of deja vu happening. Right now, we're living through a time where the message is constantly changing. We're learning as we go. And these are all things that contribute to an anxiety that people feel. Similarly, there was also a lot of that particularly in the early days of the AIDS epidemic. How to manage anxiety, how to manage uncertainty, how to manage the realities of that people within a smaller community were dying. The average length of life, actually, for patients with AIDS hospitalized early on in the epidemic was literally 2 days. The magnitude of that was kind of overwhelming, not only for staff, but certainly for me as well. And particularly when I was being asked to come and see some of these patients. And there was one guy who was 26 years old. He scraped by, basically. He was the sweetest kid, and he was dying. He was just a lovely guy who really was trying to make a better life for himself. And he was, in a way, a mirror for so many gay people, myself included. And I've kept it, obviously, in my heart all these years. That's part of why this was so important to do. The most important thing about tonight is if you all will buy art, if you will understand our message and our approach and our mission, and become supporters of the Alliance Health Project. Tonight's the night for heroes. If I can be a hero, so can you.
Wow, that was really inspiring. And if you didn't want to be a hero before, you should want to be a hero now. Those of us affiliated and working with AHP stand on the shoulders of greatness like that in the video that we just saw. You know, that was inspiring.
I have to tell you, I'm not gonna give you my life story. We don't have time for all that. But when I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is where I'm from, I told people I'm going to move to San Francisco, California. This was in 1985. I was going to graduate from college and move to San Francisco. And the two responses I got were, you'll be back, or you'll get AIDS and die. And it turns out that I could not have moved to a better place than San Francisco, because we have always been on the forefront of the fight against HIV and AIDS, the education, the prevention, and the practical care of people who were sick and dying. So the sisters, one of the things I'm most proud about the sisters is we were the first group, one of the first groups ever to produce a safer sex pamphlet directly geared towards our community called Playfair that we continue to update and publish today. We were one of the first groups ever to hold a fundraiser for people who were sick and dying and needed help paying rent and practical care. And we've always been heroes, much like AHP.
Yeah, and that public-private partnership where you see that work taking place in San Francisco really does exist as a role model for the rest of the country in terms of how to get it right. That was true for the AIDS crisis, it's true for the COVID crisis, and it's also true for the Foundation of Giving that all of you are participating in tonight, leading the way of what it looks like to be engaged in social justice, social reform, and contributions from all of you.
Exactly, because as fabulous as we are, we can't do it alone. We need you and we need your money. But that's the other thing about San Francisco that's so inspiring. We always give. We are so generous, and I know that you're going to join us tonight. That thermometer, actually, I'm going to be honest, was a little of a... I'm not impressed by the $5,000, $6,000. I'm going to be real honest. We can do better. Come on, San Francisco, bid on that art, make a hero bid, just make a donation.
Yes.
Maybe you don't have a space for art and you're like me. All my walls are covered with photos, paintings, and images of myself. So I don't have any room for art, sorry. But people walk into my apartment, they're like, girl, why do you have so many pictures of yourself? And I'm like, well, if I didn't have so many pictures, I guess I could have more mirrors. But you know, when people give you a piece of art, which would also, these would be great gifts because when someone gives you a piece of art, it's so personal. And you have to respect the time and the talent that's behind it, and you have to display it proudly. So I do have many pieces of art in my home that people have done inspired by this. And so I'm so happy to be part of this.
That when you get the art, if you get one of these beautiful pieces, what the art represents is so meaningful. It's more than just a pretty picture. It literally is an investment in your own community and an investment in the work.
The story you can tell about how you supported that the Alliance Health Project and the bid and this fabulous show. It's such a win-win for everybody.
And don't get me wrong, even if you don't get the art, you can still be a hero by making a contribution, and every little bit helps. Every dollar that you send to us allows us to keep our doors open that much wider for disenfranchised communities. And in this day and time, while we are stuck, struggling, and seeing civil unrest unfold right before our very eyes, and frustrated that the only thing that we can do is vote this November, this gives us an opportunity to take action. This gives us an opportunity to do something right now. This gives us an opportunity to make a difference tonight by opening up our wallets and sharing what we have with others who are so desperately in need, with the folks that are at the very front of the line, fighting for our existence, fighting for our civil rights, and fighting for our dignity and health. That's what your contributions are. That's what they mean to AHP. So don't hold back. Continue looking at this beautiful art, but please don't forget what's behind this art, and please don't forget what a hero you're making yourself and defining yourself as by giving us a contribution and allowing us to continue this work on your behalf to make San Francisco a better place. Thank you so much. I know I got on a roll.
Wow.
I just wanted to say how important it is.
When can I vote for you? Like, what are your aspirations? Can we talk? I told you I'm nosy. I want answers. What is your goal? What is your end game?
I'll tell you my end game is to get that thermometer to burst. If I can get folks to contribute money to recognize that they actually control the fate of this city, that they actually control the fate of the donations tonight to make a difference, that's the goal, that's the win. That's what I'm running to have happen.
That's what it is, that's what it is. I would like to know, you know who I miss? I miss DK. I want to know what's going on in the vault over there.
I'm voting for Paul Henderson. I've just decided, I'm writing it in. And Sister Roma. Paul Henderson and Sister Roma on the ticket.
The ticket, yeah.
We're all so grateful for all the work of the sisters, and of course for Jim, Dr. Dilley, for founding the Alliance Health Project 36 years ago. So grateful. We're going to visit some more studios now. This artist has been a crowd pleaser for so many years at Art for AIDS. Lucky Rap. Los Huevos Grandes is we're about to go visit her studio.
So the process of resin and pouring resin, there's so many possibilities, and I like to recycle and recreate things. I was making a homage to Andy Warhol's Last Supper. And we poured this lacquer over it that caused the paint to crack, but it looked like it was from the 1800s. So when I came back to the States in 2001, after being 7 years in Europe, I was looking for that, to make things with that. Then I just stumbled on resin. So Los Huevos Grandes is the overflow, the resin that fell off the canvas, and it created this form. So I think it's really fun, it's really playful. Right now at this time, I'm trying to make things that are like really pop color, really bright, really funny, whimsical. It's about technique, but it's also problem solving. It's science, it's logistics, it's calculation. That's what I like, you know?
I'm interested in our relationship with nature and how we commodify and see it as a product and a commodity. I grew up in San Jose. I would spend a lot of time running through the fields and creeks and catching bugs and looking for plants. I think about what we lose for what we gain. We live in a beautiful city, but I think we are starting to see the effects of our choices on nature. I always use images of nature contrasted with stock indexes and images of financial data. I want to create that juxtaposition of nature with finance. For me, that symbolizes the attention that we give to those two themes and how we think about what we care about more and what we want to pay more attention to.
Philip Hua, another audience favorite. We love you, we love your work, and it looks like you also have some serious bidding going on for your piece. Before I turn it over to Paul and Sister Roma, I want to thank Kate Shoemate, Bart Schulman, Nico Van Dongen, so many people, Bart Adler, so many people making hero bids right now. Cheryl, and I'm going to kill your name, Dajak, I know I killed it. Catherine Gordon, Mary Salazar, a lot of our staff are making donations. Thank you all so much. And now to you, Sister Roma and Paul Henderson.
Thank you so much. I love seeing those videos. To me, I'd seen a lot of this art before, but seeing the videos to give it context really changes how I see the art.
But you said you have one. You have one of the pieces.
I do, and I saw it when they were showing the video. I was like, oh my gosh, I have that piece, and I didn't know.
The soldiers you have?
I had the little soldiers, yeah, that are in yoga poses. I love them because it's a reinterpretation of images that had heretofore been defined by violence and or aggressiveness that have been reinterpreted into peaceful poses and serenity.
Yes.
I love the power of understanding the story behind art because it magnifies the meaning and it magnifies the significance, just like our contributions are tonight. That they are magnified and they are made more because they are going to work and to an agency that we all care about that's doing such important work for all of us. And just a reminder, you know, the art is really important, but those of you that are making the hero contributions have another reward that it's tax deductible. So go ahead and make your contributions now. Get it in before 2020 is over. And I know we're all ready for it to be over, but before it goes out, let's make a contribution to something that we know is going to make a difference for all the communities. Sister?
Yes, please. So I'm kind of jealous that you have that, actually, because I really loved her stuff. I'm so into giant, bright colored, like pop art looking things, and I noticed what you said about taking things like the pink gun,
yes.
Obviously a violent symbol,
right,
and turning it into that beautiful like poppy art thing that was so very, very cool.
And it was pink. I'm just gonna say it made it gay. Like, what does that mean? And how do you juxtapose the imagery of a gun and that bright pink facade there? Like, what does it mean? And there's no right answer. It's the feeling that it evokes, the feeling that you get, or your interpretation that you get to share with your friends. This is all behind every piece of art that you get to buy, purchase, bid on. And don't worry if you lose the bid, you can still donate that money and make a difference.
How amazing would those giant eggs look on a blue wall?
Love them.
Right?
Love them.
I am so into it. I think I should become an interior designer. I've just decided.
I like that.
Yeah.
In fact,
I'm inspired by this art.
Yeah, people go buy this art, and Sister Roma and I are going to show up and tell you about your art. And tell you, we're going to advise you as to where it should go.
Right. What color you need to paint that wall to really make that art work?
So it's my job tonight to make sure that you give. And before I do, because I have told you before, so make sure you keep doing it, but I want to introduce you to Perry, who can tell you why people actually come to AHP and why you need to give, so donate big to keep all of our services that are going. So take a look at what Perry has to say.
Lives are changed at Alliance Health Project. Our lives and the lives of our clients. Whether you come for HIV services, sexual health, mental health, substance use, or gender care, you leave here a little stronger, a little more known and seen. And that is healing. Why do people come to AHP? They know we are committed to the highest standard of care, with a heightened sense for race, gender, and sexuality. How that interplay affects our clients, affects all of us. They come because they connect with our staff, who treat them with respect, dignity, and compassion. And that is healing. Alliance Health Project, making the world a better place, one person at a time.
The UC, oh, girl, fireworks.
Girl, you know those fireworks are for us.
Of course
It's
they
because
are.
we are here.
Woohoo! They're also for UCSF. I have to say, I am a huge fan of UCF. That is my personal care provider, and they changed my life around about 13, 14 years ago. I'm a huge fan. You're a firework, baby.
Baby, I'm a firework. We all are, as are all the heroes that are here tonight. That really was an inspiring thing for us. Can we just take a minute and look at all the hero bids that we have going on now? Because what we've really got to do is make sure that those, so we're up to almost $7,000. Let me tell you something a little bit about this money and the video that we just saw, because I think it's really important that we talk about the intentionality that is behind the work that we're doing here at AHP. Here's what I mean by intentionality. AHP is focused on disenfranchised communities, and we already know that the majority of those disenfranchised communities include the LGBT community. They include the communities of color that are here in San Francisco. And having an organization to focus on that work where it's needed the most is inspiring for me. And when we talk about doing racial justice work, that's what your donations are contributing for. That's what your donations are paying for. So in the next 15 minutes, you ignite your own light, be your own firework, open up your wallet, please make a contribution and help us continue this important work so that we can continue to make a difference. If you want to be a social advocate and a justice warrior like those of us here on this stage and behind this work, open up your wallet and make a contribution. Let us know that you care about making a difference, you care about the public health and safety of disenfranchised communities, that you are with us, that you support the art, that you support AHP, and you support every community of San Francisco. Show us what you're worth and show us your fireworks with your dollars.
Yes. Hey, DK, you got any fireworks over there?
I do have fireworks. I do. I wanted to let everybody know we might be running just a little bit behind, but stay with us because we're raising money for Alliance Health Project, and we have these beautiful art pieces to continue to talk about and focus on, so stay with us. Also, I wanted to give you some totals. We've raised over $100,000 in sponsorships. I think about $120,000 in art sales so far, about $8,000 or $7,000 in donation. Looks like total donations $8,600. I wish it were $86,000. It could be $86,000. So back to the weather. That's a little joke about me being Al Roker, but I ended up just being Bob Ross. So. I don't know, that's still in there. Back to Happy Little Trees. Our next artist is Heidi McDowell. She is a favorite at 1890. This piece is a wave in Iceland, a piece she's gone back to over and over, and a piece that she created in the first months of the pandemic. And it is beautiful. It's just a delicate drawing of a wave, and it's just really, really special. Another one of my favorites. I have so many favorites. And now we're going to go to Katie Kuhn's studio and listen to her talk a little bit about her work.
When I approach a canvas, there's nothing that's impossible. I am an abstract artist. I'm trying to make something out of nothing. Even when a work is abstract, the elements need to speak to each other in some way. It's really just the relationship between the light and the dark, the large and the small, the nuanced and the obvious. Put something down, activate the canvas, work on it, don't think about it, just go with your rhythm. And then step back, see what you have. And usually something will start to show up. So the piece that we're looking at today, I'm really happy that it was chosen for Art for AIDS. There's different depths to it, and then there's sort of a sense of lifting and of rain. I keep finding new things in it. It's a blessing to be able to do this work.
Another amazing, talented, and generous artist. I mean, this has just been so amazing. And Bob Ross over there has just cracked the whip, so we're gonna have to wrap it up pretty soon.
I know, it makes me sad that we have to give up the stage and stop looking at all of this beautiful art that I've been looking at for so long and hearing these amazing stories about the work and about this beautiful art. It's so great.
It really is. And I've had so much fun with you. Have you had a good time?
Oh my gosh, this has been amazing, not just spending this evening with you, but spending the evening with these amazing artists, spending the evening with all of this work, and spending the evening with all of the folks that work at AHP that have been willing to share themselves, their work, and their stories with all of you to inspire you and to give you a reason to support them and to give you the reason to support changes that are happening in our community. That's a lot to me. I'm so happy to hear what those numbers are, and I know that there's more that people can do. So
exactly.
Continue your inspiration as you look at this beautiful art. I want you to think about what's behind that art and the people that are making that in order to elicit a contribution from you and to elicit a bid from you. That's what's important. Thank you for being a hero tonight, and thank you for supporting the work of AHP.
Now, I think we can all agree that this pretty much has been a rival to the Emmys as far as a COVID production. So, as you know, to make something as amazing as this happen, it takes a village. So I would like to turn it over to DK, who would like to acknowledge some very deserving people tonight.
Yes, I have so many people to thank. Of course, the artists, our sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Gilead, Kilpatrick Townsend, and Stockton. I know you're having a little party, so thank you so much. Your generosity helps our community, the LGBTQ plus affirming mental health and HIV services possible. And our staff, whose passion for helping is unparalleled. A special thanks to our Community Advisory Board. You are our biggest sponsors and cheerleaders. Thank you so much. We could not do this without the Art for AIDS jury, our host committee, and all of you donating, bidding, and helping us make this night and our organization and our work possible. Thank you so much. And a couple more pieces that we're going to talk about before we close, beginning with Denise Tarantino and Ricardo Carbajal Moss. Ricardo is a Mexican painter. He creates delicately painted surrealist scenes, and this piece is gorgeous. Denise Tarantino's Palms in the Park. Denise is on our host committee and is a friend. This is a collection of original Polaroids that are commissioned by the San Francisco Park and Rec and abstractly document the construction of our new playgrounds in our city, another piece that just makes you love San Francisco. And Blair Bradshaw is back by popular demand. This A-Line series is so gorgeous. And then our final studio visit with Bibi Gignilliat.
In creating, it's accessing, I think, the divine. I become a channel to access that creative energy. One of my favorite aspects of creating art is creating texture and excavating. There's so many layers and so much depth, and it creates access to the depth. I'm all about repurposing in my work when possible. I'm taking these old posters that would likely fall off, but instead I'm creating kind of a feel in my work of like a rich old wall. The piece I donated for Art for AIDS is called Berkeley One. I collected music posters off of telephone poles, and then I utilized them in a lot of my work. I like to create work that brings joy. We need hope, we need inspiration, and I create work with the hope that when someone looks at it, it makes them feel good.
Watching your bids come in makes us all feel so good and gives us hope for 2020. I hope you did the same for you. We hope you find joy in the art, in the bidding, in the donating. Thank you so much. And I'm going to kick it back to Sister Roma and Paul now.
So true, DK. And I want you all to know that with each donation and each bid you made, you've made someone's life a little bit better because they can come to AHP and we can serve them with the dignity and compassion that they deserve. We love you. You make San Francisco a better place, if that's even possible.
Yes, that's true. And we are going to get through all of these crazy times together. I want to thank all of you for the hope that you've given us, the hope that we get, and it's measured and inspired by the dollars that you're contributing to support this amazing work. I do feel like it's all of our obligation to do something and to do more. We have the luxury of living in the best city in this country. And because we live here, we have an obligation to make sure that it reflects our own values. And the way that we do that is by bidding on this art. The way that we do that is by contributing to the work that we think is important. And we don't get the luxury of standing by and taking an aspirational approach to change. Change comes because we make it happen. Change comes because we pay our dollars. Change comes because we vote the right way. And so I'm inspired by this art, but I'm more inspired by this audience that I don't even get to see that's making a difference right now by supporting this work and supporting this art. And so you can keep on giving. We're done here for our evening. Sister Roma and I are going to party away separately, but you can continue giving every day and every year. That's right. So you can keep bidding until 10 o'clock tonight at the very least. I'm hoping all of you tell your friends, tell your family, tell others. You are now a social advocate. Tell them about this work. Tell them about your contributions and allow them to give as well in the same ways that you have. Become a hero tonight. They can become heroes as well. So all of us, everyone, give you a big thank you. And we love you. We love you. Exactly.
What a great
Yay. Oh, and there's flowers. Oh my gosh. Those of you, keep on bidding. Keep on bidding. Give the money. Give the money. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And don't just bid on the art. You can bid for me and Sister Roma as well. We will come and have a good coffee and share all the tea. You like that? Bid on us for coffee and get the tea. I love that. Please continue being a hero. Thank you all.
Haha. Good evening, everyone.